Ahoy! We finally have a release date for the open beta of Multiverses. In this video we'll briefly talk about some of the dates, and I will also give those of you who haven't heard of Multiverses a quick introduction to the game. So Multiverses is going into open beta early access on July 19. The full open beta start is a little bit later, on July 26. The full open beta is, as the name implies, open for everyone, whereas the early access is for people who have already had access from previous alpha versions, and you also have the chance to get access while watching Twitch streams of the game through Twitch drops. This is very simple. All you need to do is create a Warner Bros. Games account and then watch a Twitch stream of Multiverses for 60 minutes and you will get access to the beta. Starting from the early access of the open beta, all progress is permanent. So it carries over into the open beta and from the open beta into the live version of the game. So that's character levels, skills you unlock, and battle pass and so on. The open beta will be available on all platforms the game releases for, that is PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS4 and PS5. There's no word on a Switch version, and given the market I wouldn't necessarily expect anything, at least not anytime soon. The open beta also comes with a new character. The Iron Giant will be added to the roster. Now, a little bit more on what Multiverses actually is. It's a free-to-play platform fighting game with a very heavy focus on 2v2s as a team fighting game. And it takes this aspect very seriously. For example, there are 5 roles in the game: tanks, supports, bruisers, assassins, and mages. So this almost sounds more like an RPG or a MOBA, but it's more the playstyle of the characters that really fits into this. So for example, you can mix a tank with an assassin and the tank has certain abilities to hold off damage or come to the ally very quickly and help them, while the assassin is more capable of dishing out high damage quickly. While the visuals strongly resemble Smash Brothers, the game definitely sets itself apart in terms of gameplay, and some people actually compare it more to Brawlhalla and say that is closer to the actual combat. There's a very high emphasis on dodging, and by default the characters don't have a block. High-level matches have extremely high movement and also very frequent air combat. Obviously, that requires the sufficient level of skill to actually pull that off, but there's a bunch of air dodges and jumps and whatnot you can do in a chain. The characters so far are extremely unique, and while they all work in the framework of a fighting game, some feel like you're almost playing a different game from other characters. Multiverses also adds another layer to the combat through perks that you choose before the match, and you can adjust those based on who you're facing. Some of these perks just provide you with passive additional strength on certain attacks, while others directly affect specific abilities of your character and make them work a little bit differently. That said, these are things you unlock by leveling up the character, which you do by playing them. These are not things that are part of the monetization system. The devs have been very clear on not wanting to give people in-game advantages through money, but rather things like battle passes with extra effects, with cosmetics, visual type of stuff. Multiverses also comes with other generally nice quality of life features. For example, if you're playing against other players and you're trying out a new character and you get stomped because you don't really know that character yet, you have the option to declare a rematch on the person you're playing against and to switch your character once you declared the rematch. So if they accept, they may be in for a little bit of a surprise. I found that this uncertainty kept things very intense and spicy and would almost always go for the rematch. The developer behind the game is Player First Games, and what you find on their website is one of their main goals is for the game to have very high long-term potential, and so far I can absolutely see that. And that also is something where the publisher comes into play, because the publisher is Warner Bros. Games. And that means that Multiverses has access to Warner Bros. Licenses. Just to give you a small idea of some of the franchises that have been published by Warner Bros. Games, we have Mortal Kombat, Hitman, most of the LEGO games, Harry Potter, Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of War. And according to some character leaks, there's a good chance we'll see characters from Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, The Matrix, and Mad Max in Multiverses later on already. So there's a lot of potential for even more, and basically this game has room to become the idea of what Smash Brothers is on the Switch for pretty much any other console. Again, I want to emphasize this. While there are most certainly similarities, there are also significant differences between how MultiVersus and Smash Bros. Play. So what I'm talking about here is both of them being these massive franchise crossovers, and obviously that is something that is very well received in Smash Bros., and I could imagine it being very well received in the rest of the gaming world as well, outside of the Switch, especially if it starts out as free-to-play. So with a strong backing of Warner Bros. And with a very strong idea and the launch as free-to-play to cast as wide of a net as possible, I see a very, very good potential future for MultiVersus. And knowing how that usually goes when I predict something like that, the game is now gonna crash and burn, I'm sorry. Jokes aside, as long as they can establish consistent updates, I'm fairly certain this game will reach a stable fan base in the long run. I know quite a few pro fighting game players are also very much looking forward to it, because the game sounds like it's going to support the competitive scene quite well, which is the opposite of what Smash does. With this year being relatively sparse with good multiplayer releases so far, I think MultiVersus is something to really look forward to. If you'd like to see more about MultiVersus in the future, I have guides for some characters planned, and I will also make some other info videos. So if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and clicking the bell to get notified of that, and also feel free to let me know in the comments so I know how much interest there is. And if I get around to it, I might stream some of the early access on my Twitch channel. Link is in the description down below. With that, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you for the next one soon. Duke Sloth, out.